Osmo first graders, Mr. Wojcik here, technology, and we're going to talk about Osmo again. Last time we talked about Osmo tanagrams. You did a great job going through Osmo tanagrams. Some of you got into the more difficult medium level of tanagrams. We'll revisit tanagrams again in the near future, but today I want to talk about Osmo numbers with you. And Osmo numbers gives you a box of numbers, and in this box you have the tiles that have the numbers on them, and then tiles that have dots. And we're going to start out with the tiles that have dots. So all you have to do is take out the dots today, and I'll explain that in class as well. We'll go over it quickly. But as we open this up, you have lots of number tiles here, and you don't have number tiles that are all the numbers 1 through 5. You have the number 1, and then you have a number 5, and you'll have a number 2, and that's all you'll have. So it's going to be your job to use those tiles to add your numbers to get the correct bubble on the screen, and I'll show you that in just a little bit here. I am going to have to turn my screen to the iPad, and as I do that, this is not my normal iPad or Chromebook that I usually use. This camera is not that great, but we'll give it a shot here and see how it goes. So I'm going to turn my iPad, get set up here. I do have, again, how to set up the iPad. I do have the mirror on top here, slides right on. Remember the flap in the back. You just pull that off and just let it sit there as you put the mirror on. And then you have the base, and that just sets right, the iPad just sets right into the base. You don't have to push it in or anything, but you did a really good job last time with that. All right, so you might not be able to see my table real well, but really what I want you to see is the iPad anyway. All right, so this is the beginning of Osmo numbers. I'm going to press play. And you'll see a pathway here that where everything is locked, and it's up to you to unlock as many of them as you can. And it starts out very easy. You'll have a pretty quick time going through this first one, but there is a lot of strategy involved with the adding of your numbers. So it's not just adding numbers together. There is some strategy involved, and I'll talk about that as we go along with this game. I'm going to tap on the number 1, and we're just going to press the play button. And you may or may not hear the sound. That's okay if you don't. We'll just get into the game here, and I'll explain the contents of the screen here. You can see some bubbles came down here, and you see the number 4 here is lit up. That's the one they want you to put the tiles to first. 2 plus 2 is 4. I'm not going to do that, and I'll explain why in just a little bit. Below is a fish tank. And as these bubbles drop, the bigger the number, the more water that bubble holds, and it's going to fill up your fish tank faster. Once your fish tank is filled to the top, the game is over. Well, you don't want to fill up your fish tank to the top. You want to be able to not get water into your fish tank as much as you can to keep the game going, to get more points. Because the more points you get, you'll graduate or get to the next size fish. You have a small fish, a medium fish, and a large fish, and your goal is to get enough points to get the large fish. Right now I just have the small fish. And as you see, I'll gain points, and this white line will go around in a circle here, and it'll eventually change once I make a 360-degree circle. It will go to my medium fish. And again, if I make a 360-degree circle, it'll go to my large fish and then give me even more challenges as I get to that large fish, or after that large fish. So you can see right here, they want me to add 2 tiles to make 4. 2 and 2 make 4, or 2 plus 2 make 4. And then the 4 would pop, add water to my tank, and my tank would start filling up. But you see the 5 here is yellow. And that means I will break, when you have a yellow circle or a bubble, that it will get rid of all the 5s on your screen. I don't know how many 5s are on my screen. I think I see one here, I see one here. So right now I can see 4 bubbles that it will get rid of, and that means those 5 bubbles are pretty big, and it won't drop all that water into my tank if I can get rid of them. So we'll talk more about strategy in just a little bit. Let me get my 2 5s out here. So I have 5. I'm just going to use 5 actually. I don't need to use 2 5s. So I'm just going to use my 5 tile, put it on the table, and it reads 5. It'll pop all the 5s that I have and give me points. So I have 75 points just for making that combination. You also see a fish fell down into my water. So you will see different things pop down. So there's another fish in a bubble that will be added to my tank for points. Also, these boxes can be added to my tank, and those have plants in them. And the plants give you points as well if you can break those boxes open. So what you're really looking for is combinations. So what I mean by combinations are that you have numbers that are sitting in this lit up area or just before they fall into a tank that are wiggling. If they're wiggling, that gives you a combination. So for example, if I can get this 3 down here and be in the same level as this 3, they'll wiggle and they won't add water to my tank because they're combinations. So hopefully you'll see a few of those. I don't have any combinations, so no matter what I do, I'm going to add water to my tank. But I do see a yellow 2 here. So I am going to break this 4, which is going to give me a lot of water, but hopefully this 2 will drop down and turn yellow so I can make that zap all these other 2s on my screen and get more points. So I'm going to take away the 5 on my table. I'm going to add my 2 tile. Oh, I did that wrong. So I had my 2 tile, nothing happened. So that was my mistake. So I still have that. I meant to add the 4. So that's my mistake. So I'm going to add, so I don't have a 4 tile. I'm going to add another 2. And it's going to make 4. So 2 and 2 is 4. It's going to pop that. And I was hoping that 2 would come down far enough. But do you see these 2, 3 bubbles are wiggly? And when they're wiggly, that's a combination. So they won't add water to my tank if I get that combination. So I have 2 and 2 down here. I'm going to take away one of my 2 tiles. I'm going to add a 1. 2 and 1 make 3. And now I didn't add any water to my tile. I added a plant or something to the bottom. Maybe it looks like a rock to the bottom of my tank. And now my 2 is right here. So I have a 2 and a 1 tile. I'm going to take away that 1 tile so I can pop my 2. And it pops all my 2s and gives me points. And now I have a combination of 2 6s. I don't have a 6 tile, so there's a couple of ways I can do it. I'm going to take away my 2. I can add a 5. And then I'm going to add one more. 5 plus 1 makes 6. There we go. And I have a fish that's dropping into my tank. And a box as well. And that box has a plant in it. All right. So, and then another 6 dropped down. It did add 6 gallons to my tank. So my water level is all the way up to here. So I do have to watch that. What I'm learning about this game is if you get the numbers you want to drop, or if you get your combinations, take away the tiles right away, because when your bubbles drop, another number of that same number might drop and you might add more water to your tank. So as you play the game and do the activity, you'll see what I mean by that. So it looks like, oddly enough, I have lots of 1s down here, but none of them are shimmering. So I won't get a combination for those. I am going to go ahead and pop them again. Now this is where strategy comes in. I could pop the 5 and see what falls down, but I don't think this 5 is going to make it all the way down. So I'm going to pop the 1s and see what happens. So all the 1s will pop that are on the bottom. And it did get a combination here, which is good. So a 6, so I'm going to add a 5 back. 1 plus 5 is 6. So that water did not get added to my tank. I did get a fish that gives me points. I did get quite a few points. So I'm almost to my medium fish. I do have lots of combinations here I can choose from. I'm going to choose the combination of the 2 5s, and then I'll probably go with the 4s next. So I'll go with 5s. Oh, my combination disappeared. Sometimes your combinations disappear for some reason. I don't understand why that happens. So I do have those shimmering 4s yet still, and so I'm going to take away the 5. I'll go 2 and 2. Oh, my other 2 is not reading for some reason. There we go. And now I have that yellow 5, which is going to get rid of all those other 5s. I'm going to go ahead and add one more this time. I have 2 2s here, and 2 plus 2 is 4, and one more tile would make 5, so I'm going to add a 1. And that should get rid of all my 5s, which are my bigger bubbles that cost me lots more water than the smaller bubbles do. So I did get to the medium-sized fish now, so now I'm working around my way to the larger fish. I don't know that I'm going to get it. I have an awful lot of water in my tank right now, so I have to be real careful about what I'm doing. So I think I'm going to go ahead and try to get this one. Hopefully this one drops down, and then my 4s will be a combination. So again, it's a strategy game. You have to think about your strategy you're using. So I'm going to try my 1, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So this time it did not work. Doesn't look like that 1 is going to wiggle down like I wanted it to. So I don't have any combinations here that I can get. I'm going to drop this 2, and then that 4 hopefully will fall down. And I do have a combination of the 2 4s. So I do have 2 here already. Oh, there's my, see, now I had a 2 drop down, so I got more things. So I have my 2 4s here shimmering. I have 2 number 1s down below. I'm going to add 2 more, and that's going to make 4. And I get my combination, so it doesn't add any water to my tank. I have a combination of 2 3s there, so I'm going to make that a 3. Oh, and I think I'm going to probably get that 3 by mistake too. Yeah, so I got to watch. So it's a strategy game. So I didn't see that 3 sitting over there. So my 1s again, oops, looks like I had my hand in the way there. So, or my 3 is not registering, so it's getting all kinds, they have all kinds of things going on. So, all right, so I had my mirror is tipped forward, so it's not reading all my numbers. So I'm just let things settle down here a little bit and let things just settle. And I don't have, unfortunately now my water is really high. So you can see how the game can get kind of carried away with you if you're not really watching your screen carefully, and things are all of a sudden dropping. So slide those numbers out of the way, and then nothing will drop into your fish tank. So I don't have much room left, but I do have a sponge here, and that sponge will soak up some of my water. With that said, I do have some pretty big numbers here. I'm going to drop the 5 or pop the 5, which will bring the 6 down and hopefully give me a combination of those 2 6s. So again, lots of strategy here. So I'm going to add water to my tank, but hopefully I do get, yes, they are shimmering. So I'm going to get that combination of my 2 6s, so no water is added. And hopefully I get another combination, which I did not. Which now what's happening is I still have 6 there and everything's dropping in. All my 6s are dropping in, and now my game is over. So I did get the small and medium fish, but you can see how things can have a chain reaction. So again, I didn't swipe my numbers away fast enough, and all those 6s dropped into my tank. So because I wasn't watching, I was talking too much. So from here, you can go on and repeat this lesson or this activity to try to get that larger fish. All right, get enough points to get that larger fish. So I would like you to get at least to the medium fish before you move on to the next activity, because the next activity is more difficult. So I'm going to press the arrow to the next activity. So you can see I have the small fish and the medium fish. Did not get the large fish. All right, so I have 3 different fish here. And the idea of this is not to get us farther than anyone else. The idea is to, 1, practice some math facts, work with some technology, and then see if you can get to that larger fish. Don't try to get as far as you can down into the ocean. because that's not the goal. The goal is to work on our math facts a little bit, learn some strategy, do some thinking skills, and think of a plan, and improve your plan as you're going along. So if something's not working quite right, we want to improve it. So you want to maybe do a different strategy as you're playing this game. So I'm going to do number 2 just to show you a little bit of what number 2 is like. Again, different fish. Again, you have your fish tank, your water down below, a little bit of water down here, and you're looking for combinations is the most important thing. So I have my 10 right away. So the numbers are bigger, you'll notice, so I have to use more tiles. I do have 2 5s, so 5 plus 5 makes 10. And I get rid of all my 10s, and right off the bat, I get a whole bunch of points. I do have 2 shimmering 9s, so I'm going to do 7 and add 2 more. So I have 3 numbers. I added 5 plus 2 makes 9. And I'm going to get them out of the way. It looks like I wasn't paying attention. I added some water to my tank. So I do have quite big bubbles here. So I'm going to take this 8. Notice there's a new feature here. I have dynamite or a bomb. So that will blow up some of those bubbles and give me points. So I am going to do 8. So 5. I'm going to do a 5 plus 2 is 7. And then 1 more is 8. Oh, it got stuck there, so maybe it'll wiggle down. If you give it a little time, sometimes they wiggle down. Does not look like that one's going to wiggle down, so I'm going to have to do the 6 as well. So I'm going to do 5 and 1. There we go. And let's see what happens if I can get any combinations. I did get a combination of 2 11s. So I'm going to keep my 5 there. I'm going to add 2 more. And that's 7. Add 2 more. That's 9. And I'm going to find another 2. Add 2 more, and that would be 11. I did get a fish to drop in. And I do have 2 combinations here of 2 6s. So I'm going to take away my numbers and add a 5 and a 1, which would make 6. So it does not add water to my tank on those combinations, remember? And now I don't have any combinations here, so I'm going to have to add water to my tank. So this is where I have to think about my best strategy, and I really don't have good options here. My only option is to try to get these 7s to fall down so I can get a combination and get that bomb to fall down. So I'm going to have to add a big number. So I'm going to add 11. I think I'm going to try the 11. So I have 6 right now. If I add 5 more, actually, that makes 11. And that's, maybe I'll get lucky. There we go, we did. So I have my 2 shimmering 7s. So I'm going to take away a 5 and add 2. There we go. And, I had that extra 7 fall, so that I got to continue to watch that. It looks like this 10 might be trying to wiggle down, but I don't know if it's going to get down here because that would be a great combination to get. But again, I don't have any combinations, and my bomb didn't fall down, so I'm going to do a 9 instead. So I have 7 here, and 2 more would be 9. Now my bomb is going to move some things around, and there's my fish. Gives me 100 points. And I did get lucky. Oh, there's that 9 that fell down. I do have a 10 here, so I'm going to add 1 more. So 5 plus 2 is 9, and 1 more is 10. So I added 4 number tiles together. Get rid of all my 10s, get some points. And I'm just not having good luck with this game here. I'm going to do the 8 because that 11 should fall, and I should have a combo there. I wouldn't add water to my tank. My water is all the way up here already. So I'm going to go and take away a 2, and that will give me 8. I did get the shimmering numbers, so I'm going to do the 11. I'm going to add 3 to make 11. So there is 2, and one more is 11. And yeah, which is not. I'm going to. This is not a good strategy. This tank's going to get filled up here pretty quickly. So I'm going to try to just get rid of the 9, and hopefully I'll get lucky on something here. So I don't think it's going to happen, but I'll take away 2. And yeah, I was afraid of that. There we go. I did get lucky. And there's that shimmering 7. So I'm going to take away 2. And those 2 numbers should not give me any water in my tank. But again, that 12 in the middle is really causing problems. So I'm going to get rid of the 8. It is going to give me 8 gallons of water, but hopefully I'm going to get a combination somewhere here. Oh, and it did not. Looks like the 12 is trying to fall down, but that 12 in the middle is causing me lots of trouble. I'm going to have to just go ahead and do 12, I guess. So I have 8, and I need 2 more is 10, and then 2 more is 12. That's going to give me quite a bit of water, and actually I had another 12 that fell down, so I think my game is going to be done here. Yep, the game is over. And I did get enough points to, I didn't even get enough points to the medium fish. I was so close. I needed 1,000 points to get to the medium fish. So you can see that strategy is really important, and the luck of the bubbles dropping is also important. So again, I would repeat this activity because I didn't get that medium fish. So again, thinking about strategy, learning how to add, and going from there. If I did go on to the next activity, so I only got the small fish. Again, we're going to get the small and medium fish. Practice your strategy, practice your math facts. It just gets harder, so you might not want to go to that difficult level. You might want to go back and try to get that larger fish on the easier levels to just continue to practice those math facts. But again, these numbers get pretty big now. So I think they go as high as 19 on this one. But looks like I get 2 shimmering numbers here. So I would just take 2 away to make 10. I'm going to swipe my numbers away just because I don't want anything else to drop. And now again, I'm not getting very lucky here. So I don't have any combinations here. And I'm just going to have to start adding water to my tank. And again, these pretty big bubbles are going to add a lot of water to my tank. And I don't see anything that's going to drop down and make good combinations. The only thing that I could try is maybe getting this bomb to fall down here and kind of clearing things out and getting some of those combinations. So let's try that real quick. 5, and plus 5 is 10, and 5 more is 15. Get rid of that 15. And yes, we have that bomb that fell down. All kinds of things happening here. So, and I do have lots of combinations now. So I got pretty lucky there. So I have the 16s. I'll get rid of those. And I'm going to get rid of that just because I don't want to lose that, have any 16s drop down here. So I have 14s and 11s as combinations. So I'm going to do 11. So this one's going much better. You can see my bubbles are lining up much better. So I have my combinations of 14. So I'm going to add, oops, I don't want to add 15 by mistake. So there we go. Two 2s make 14. And all kinds of things. Good things are happening in this game. So I'm getting lots of points right away. And I have another combination of 2 16s. So you can see how this goes. You don't have to. So I'll just add 2 more real quick. So it's kind of addicting when your game is going well and you get these good combinations where you're not adding water and getting lots of points. So I have another combination of 2 15s. I would just keep going, and hopefully I can keep getting lucky and getting those combinations and not add water to my tank. All right, so that's how you do or play Osmo numbers. So we'll do that activity next time you're here. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.